Hey, everybody, welcome back for today's edition of Notre Dame Daily. An Irish invasion was a success, a huge weekend, a huge Friday out in South Bend with over 100 prospects coming to campus, interested in varying degrees with the football program. Mostly kids from the 27 and 28 classes. You had a few sprinkled in from Notre Dame's 2026 class, at least the interests, at least, because we know how good the 2026 class to this point has been. More on that in a couple of minutes. I want to start today, though, with a really cool story. Former Notre Dame signal caller Brandon Wimbush, who was with Notre Dame, as we know, from 2015 to 18 before wrapping up his playing career in 19 at Central Florida. He's got a fresh role with an up-and-coming name in sports entertainment. The Jersey native recently named Chief of Staff for the Real American Freestyle Organization. Now, if you're not all that familiar with it, and I didn't know too much about it, it's still very early. It's in its infancy here. The RAF was launched in late April of this year by former WWE stars Hulk Hogan and Eric Bischoff. And what this league and this organization allows athletes to do is continue those careers post-college. And the style that RAF uses is going to be featured in the Summer Olympics along with the traditional Greco-Roman wrestling. But for Wimbush, I mean, this was a kid who had a good college career. Being a New Yorker, I watched a lot of him at St. Peter's Prep when he was in high school in New Jersey. Loved everything about him on and off the field. And now he steps into this big role working in conjunction with these huge names in wrestling. It's a great opportunity because this will now allow him to run various operations across the different departments within RAF, and he's also going to oversee some different intimate aspects of the organization as a whole. And again, like I mentioned, with this freestyle organization now starting to grow and become a hotter commodity, even though it's been basically around for less than 2 months, this is a wonderful opportunity for Brandon Wimbush, who will now be a great ambassador for this really great new outlet because very relatable, still young, 28 years old. He's got the moxie, the intelligence, the passion for it. I think I really got a kick out of this story because like when you talk about a lot of the athletes that play collegiate sports at Notre Dame, for our purposes at Notre Dame, they go on to have great careers in pro sports, academia, whatever it might be, business. This is one of those examples, and I think someone like Brandon Wimbush will be successful in this role because of the way that he will approach it from an ambassador perspective. And it's a huge role. It's a huge responsibility to take on, and it's great to see not just someone for me with the New York, New Jersey ties or the Notre Dame ties, but it's a great thing happening to a great person. This is huge news for Hulk Hogan, Bischoff, and obviously Brandon Wimbush. You talk about some of the guys that graduate and go on to bigger and better things. Well, there's a handful of Notre Dame players that were drafted in the April NFL draft, and among them Xavier Watts, Jack Kaiser, and former Notre Dame quarterback Riley Leonard. All three of them have legitimate chances to start. You look at Xavier Watts, round 3 pick by the Atlanta Falcons. We know he has incredible ball skills. We saw that throughout his career in Notre Dame, insane football IQ. Because of that, he's going to have, with his incredible athleticism, a really good start opportunity to start for Atlanta across from Jesse Bates III in that Falcons secondary. You need ball hawks back there. And the list goes on with some of the great safeties in the National Football League. Getting Watts in the 3rd round like Atlanta did was a freaking steal. I think we would all agree with that. But you're looking at someone like Xavier Watts who... Could there potentially be some growing pains? Yeah, that's always something that is top of mind with a lot of these coaches when they bring in new players, learning a new system. But Xavier Watts is as good as they come from an intelligence and an athletic perspective, just having an understanding of what it means to operate a defensive secondary. And there's going to be a legitimate chance that he steps foot on that field in the starting 11 with Atlanta. Jack Kaiser went in the 4th round to Jacksonville. This is an interesting one because while he might not start traditionally right out of the gates, you have to figure, what was Jack Kaiser really good at when he was with Notre Dame? Ball hawk, right? Stuffing the run, blowing up the opposition's line, and stopping that first line of defense when they try to move the football down the field with the running game. That's where he excels. Because of that, you could probably see some situations where Kaiser's going to get loads of opportunities from either the Sam or the Mike linebacker positions because those preach stopping the run, which is the strong suit of Jack Kaiser. And while it may not materialize immediately, you can throw in some action on special teams. I think using Kaiser in that sort of starting role there opens a clear path for him to be a day one starter, at least in 2026, but he'll get loads of action this year as well. And then Riley Leonard goes to the Colts in round 6. You probably figured that that's a depth guy on their chart, maybe QB3. You had Anthony Richardson, Daniel Jones on there. Jones coming via the Giants, and then a quick cup of coffee with the Minnesota Vikings. But now Riley Leonard, as it turns out this week, is going to gain a lot more reps in camp because Anthony Richards going to miss all of minicamp due to an injury. So he's going to get all of those extra reps along with Daniel Jones. And I suppose conventional wisdom tells you now with Richardson out, depending on how that goes, if he isn't ready to roll preseason and into week 1, that Daniel Jones would probably be the starter. All three are healthy. It is sort of a leg up for Anthony Richardson, but Riley Leonard very much in the mix. They've been singing his praises out there in Indy from the way he studies, manages these games, moves the ball, and just the overall passion that he has for it. So these things are great to see, especially for what Riley Leonard meant to Notre Dame as a university and a football program last year, and just the fan base really endearing himself, as did Kaiser and Xavier Watts. I mean, these are three really beloved figures from Notre Dame football that are already off to great starts. And the season, their rookie campaigns have not even begun yet. So it's a very exciting time for many former Notre Damers, former Golden Domers who are now in the league. And it's Watts, Kaiser, and Leonard that I have a particularly close eye on, as I'm sure many of you do as well. Recruiting continues. I mentioned that at the top of the show. Irish Invasion this past Friday. The 26 class is loaded up depending on what outlet you use. It's a top 3 class, and they're still looking to add into it as we go deeper into the summer. But you bring in Iowa Colony High School out of Texas, wide receiver Jaden Warren. The kid continues to receive loads of interest, 6'2", 195. I think he'd be a seamless fit. It'd be a seamless transition for him from his level of high school play into Mike Denbrock's offense. Notre Dame loves him. The country loves him. They have his listed as the 19th ranked wide receiver according to 24/7. He will be in South Bend for his official visit June 17th to the 19th, so that's a big deal. I mean, he's a 4-star stud, averaged over 23 yards per catch last season as a junior. So there's big things on the horizon going into his senior campaign. Hands like magnets, big hands, big size target, and he can get down the field and create space off the line, which is huge. I love everything about this, and so do many other schools, because when you look at his offer sheet, I think he had something along the lines of 32 or 33 offers as of right now. Among them, obviously Notre Dame, but SMU, TCU, Texas A&M, Houston. So you get the Texas schools in there, Nebraska, Bama, Wisconsin, Texas Tech threw an offer into the pool as well, Oklahoma, Miami, and a slew of others. So he's a big want, and he would be an even bigger get for the Irish if you're able to put him into a 26 class that has looked great from top to bottom, but a 26 class that in parts, and Tiki Ola stands out, that has been built through the state of Texas, which over the years Notre Dame has done a very solid job with. So this is going to be exciting to see this coming off the heels of Irish Invasion, and then next week going into another big recruiting weekend. Then you'll have Warren on campus, as I said, June 17th to 19th. We know this is a young program. I have a hell of a lot of fun doing it, right? I'm not obviously perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but I appreciate a lot of the feedback we've gotten. Now the show is starting to take off from the ground up. And I always say this sort of with different media things I've done. Look, I'm a full-time tenured teacher in New York City, and I absolutely love it. Get to coach my school's baseball team, work with a variety of different kids from backgrounds, different levels and whatnot, and to be able to do this show from the guys at Fan Arch who brought me on board, I really am blessed. And I do appreciate the feedback, some more positive than others, but I do want to note that I was talking about Notre Dame's schedule and the travel that goes into it. I had a flub up with the dates. Notre Dame's second game of the season is going to be August this September 13th against Texas A&M. It's not their week 2 game. Notre Dame's got a week break, obviously, between August 31st and Coral Gables against Miami before the home opener September 13th. So I appreciate you guys helping me make that correction. Keep the comments coming. Drop them in the section below. You know how to do that by now. Feel free to reach out anytime. Like I said, I don't deliver anything that most Notre Dame fans, right? There's no middle ground with Notre Dame. You either love them or you hate them. So you're subscribing to the show. Keep subscribing. You know what you want to hear, what you like, what you don't like, and you know, on a whole, what you're talking about. I'm not doing anything that anybody else can't do, and I just want to have a heck of a lot of fun and continue to have a heck of a lot of fun doing it. So drop your comments in. I hope you've been enjoying the product. Let me know. Comment, questions, concerns, whatever it may be. Advice, I got you. And I want to hear from you because it doesn't happen without the subscriptions and it doesn't happen without the viewership. And I greatly appreciate it from you, ladies and gentlemen. I always do. Have a great rest of your day. We'll chat tomorrow. Hope you kick off the weekend well as well. As always, go Irish.